Okay, I'm going to call to order the January 22nd, 2026 meeting of the Lexington Planning Commission. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes that we need to make or? All right, then I'll take a motion in a second.
Move we approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and opposed? Motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes from January 8th, 2026. Hope we all had a chance to read them. They were nice and brief. Thank you so much. As was the meeting. Do we have any notes or changes?
Minor note,
Okay.
Spotswood has only one T on page 3 under city council report.
I think
Oh,
it does
good.
have one T. I think it's spelled that way.
Our local spelling is only the one.
Yeah.
Spelled
It's-
with 2 T's or one?
So that needs to be changed then.
There's two T's.
Oh,
There are
okay.
two T's.
I thought you were saying the opposite way. Got you. Okay.
Thank you. Good catch. All right. Any other changes? Suggestions? Then I'll take a motion and a second with that amendment.
Move to approve the minutes with the one change.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and opposed, and motion carries. Okay, moving on to citizens' comments on matters not on the agenda. Do we have any? We have one visitor. Would you like to make a comment?
It's the applicant on the next.
Yes, I think. But public comment open and closed. Okay, so moving on to new business. Entrance corridor COA 2026-02, a request by Travis Chapman for approval of a certificate of appropriateness for exterior improvements for a restaurant at 100 Walker Street. Tax map number 30-1-13, owned by Lexington Walker LLC. Do we have a staff report?
We do. Good evening, everyone. This is a request to renovate the existing building that's located at 100 Walker Street. And the entrance corridor is, sorry, I should back up. The zoning is appropriate for the use, and a restaurant is an approved use by right in the C2 zoning district. And what you're being asked tonight is to review sort of the aesthetics of the proposal. You have on page 6 and 7, the architecture, site planning, and lighting standards. So that's what you're being asked to review the proposal by. And those are, again, the standards that are applicable to this particular project. And those are in the entrance corridor section of your zoning ordinance. So if we look at the first page, you see the front of elevation of 100 Walker Street as it exists today. And it is, again, a request to make improvements to the exterior of the building and to the site itself, to portions of the site. The second page of your staff report, so page 5 of your overall packet, shows you the side elevation and also the rear elevation. We provided those to you because the application has improvements on all 4 elevations. So we wanted to give you a good understanding of what the current conditions are. And then over on page 6, again, this is a permitted use. It's by right, and we're just being asked to go through the entrance corridor regulations that we have that relate to the architecture, site planning, and to the lighting. We did not take the time to put in the staff report all of the proposed amendments to the building or changes to the building. Those are nicely detailed in the narrative that's on pages 10 and 11. So for the overall site and also for each of the 4 elevations, those are listed for you there. And then we also have nice professional drawings that give you a better understanding of the proposed changes. We also provided you on your dais this evening, 11:17 version of that, just so that you see those a little bit easier, because some of the notes in particular are quite small and hard to read. Page 15 and 16, we also have some samples for colors. The staff does find that these improvements meet the criteria and would therefore make a recommend approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Arnie? I actually do have a. So the, on this map. This is the back side that nobody sees, is that correct? So this is the side that's on, this is the front of the building on Walker Street.
That's the Walker Street.
See, sorry. Okay. Anybody else have any? Okay. Moving on then, do we have an applicant statement? I welcome you to come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please. And
Good
if
evening.
you'll speak into that microphone, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Brad Nelson. I am the general contractor for this particular project, converting the KFC to a Chipotle. That is due to what we're hoping to start around April. Don't exactly have a whole lot of comments, but I'm glad to take questions. So if anyone has some questions, glad to take those at the time.
Do you have any questions?
I have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna, I told my kids that I was talking about this today and I'm from Colorado where Chipotle came from. And so it's a big deal. So how long would you expect it to take if it starts in April?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I typically, the exterior typically takes about 6 months. The interior is usually about 4 months.
Okay.
So if we're selling burritos first of the year, we're doing well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our time.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for anyway. So,
Do you have to complete the exterior improvements before you start on the interior, or are they happening
there-
in at the same time?
that is a gray area. My preference is to get the interior contractor in as quick as we can. But the problem is there's kind of a fine line between what's responsibilities for the outside versus the inside. So it's got to be almost black and white. They want the outside done, and then they'll take the interior once the outside is substantially completed. So
Thank you.
we'll see if we can get it done quick though.
Leslie, did you?
Yeah, I
have-
had a question. For the new drive-through window,
Mhm.
is that area going to be bumped out, or is it where that wall currently is?
It is going to be bumped out. So it's currently about 4.5 feet wide, 4.5 feet in depth. We're taking off the rear bump out roof line, and it's going to be just a vertical roof line, much more modern looking. And then the addition is roughly 4.5 feet wide, 16.5 feet long. So it creates free flow in the kitchen versus before where it's not a good flow through the kitchen. So in order to create that line so it works efficiently, that's what the bump out is for. That's what the new bump out's for.
And then it said there was like 88 square feet added to the rear. What is that for?
That is the addition.
That is
the-
that addition?
That is, yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's for the sole purpose of that new drive-through window.
Okay.
So, just to create the efficiency and flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that area, so I believe I saw that you're going to do some excavations back there. Is that correct? In order
Just-
to fit that,
Right, just for that particular bump out. Yes.
and is that going to have any impact on, I don't have an overhead sense of how close the bank is,
It does not. There's actually a curb line around the back, and it is within that existing curb line, so it does not push any further out into the drive-through lane.
Okay.
So yeah,
Drive-through lane stays as is.
correct. Yes. There's a small section of concrete that's being removed because the static load of having the cars plus starting, stopping, taking off, it tends to deteriorate. So we replace that and we put a loop underneath of it. So the interior knows there's somebody on the exterior so they can, receive their food.
and there's no, you can't order there, right?
No.
It's just for pickup.
It is strictly pickup. Correct. Yes.
How many tables do you have planned for outside, or do you know that outside patio area?
It typically changes that the outside is 415 square feet. That modification, that's something I could certainly present. I don't have that with me this evening. That's they're in the process of still working on outside exterior
Love that you're
modification.
putting outside seating. I think
Yes.
people are gonna love that.
Yeah, it's usually 4 or 5 tables.
Okay.
I'll just say that. So yeah, but it's a nice area, and it does have a patio railing across, around the outside of it to prevent any type of kiddos running into the drive-through lane. So
And
The
then
color scheme on the exterior, what do you plan to do with with the brick, the existing brick?
The brick is going to remain as is. In fact, I'm matching the brick that's there. So the dumpster enclosure actually has a matching brick that will brick the outside of it. And then when we're creating different openings, we have to move some of the doorways. It is actually getting infilled with what I hope to find is a very similar brick than, what's there. No way it's going to be exact, but I'll get it as close as I can. So, yeah.
And how about elevation? There, I read somewhere that one of the parapets is going to be increased in height.
Correct.
That's a main one, or is it?
It's the two lower. So we're basically we're going to raise the lower parapet and just the center parapet. So maximum height is 1 foot 6 inches. And that's basically to ensure that we have sufficient screening for the utilities that are rooftop. It gets all new utilities, all new HVAC. So we want to make sure all that is hidden behind the parapet. So we want to ensure we're going to lift it up while we can.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Is that a parapet only on the Walker Street side?
that's correct. Yeah, I think the very back of it, I have to go back and verify, but the very back does get raised just a little bit, and that is to allow for proper, centrally locating the actual brand. So
in the parking lot, it has ample parking, but you're going to use 2 spots for the outdoor patio and then change one to handicap accessible. Is that?
one spot for the patio, and then 2 for ADA compliance. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically taking them from the far right, putting them at the far left,
Uh-huh.
and then some of that concrete will get modified for access to the refuse receptacles.
Mhm.
But we're going to add a new ADA ramp going from the farthest spot is ADA, and then of course you have the center section crosshatched, and then the first ADA. So side by side.
And it looks like you're taking away there appears to be some relief on the white taller sections, these little towers.
Yes.
That's going to be flat.
We're gonna
Is
smooth
that
them out.
correct?
Yeah. No more recessed area. We're gonna-
And you're not going to have like the crown molding up at the top either, correct?
No, we
And
just,
so you've got this gray and 2 different grays, is that one?
that's correct. Yeah. Technically it's 2 different grays. It's a fog and then the Black Magic. Black Magic is just a really dark gray, but it's 2 different gray colors.
And where did those 2 colors go on? Like all right, looking at this, looking at your map, is the white above the brick, the fog,
Yes.
and then the 2 other ones are black, or the Black Magic, is that what it is?
Yeah. The towers are the darker colors. The ones that have a little bit higher elevation are the darker colors.
Okay, so we've got black, gray, and brick. Those are the color scheme. I do appreciate that the proposal includes enclosing a lot of your utilities. That seems like it's going to be a really nice improvement.
Yes. Yeah, it's helpful that it's elevated to begin with, it's higher up on the hill. But again, just to, I'm sticklers about making sure we cover all that up. So
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and it will look nice. Any other questions for our applicant?
I'm just curious,
Sure.
I don't have my lexicon here, but what does EIFS?
That's the EIFS. So that is actually the kind of sand finish that you see. That's the insulated system that we use for more of a lot of people refer to it as Drive It. So the Drive It, that's the kind of the original brand, but yes, it's just an insulated system that adheres directly to the building itself. So it provides expanded, it's built out of expanded polystyrene.
As opposed to stucco or something?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Stucco is just a really thin layer. You used to see a lot of cracking, a lot of joint relief that was necessary. This actually is an insulated system, which actually helps with the R value of the walls as well. It's minimal, but it does help. So it has a good waterproofing system behind it.
But the finish is similar to stucco
It is, yes.
as far as appearance.
Very much so.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Could I just add two things before you get
Of
into deliberation?
course.
I forgot to mention signs will come in a separate package because that's another entity that goes straight through Chipotle, if I understand correctly. So that'll come in separately. And then the other thing to point out as far as aesthetics, you'll notice that the two coolers, the walk-ins on the back are gone, which will be a huge improvement. If you look at the pictures on page 5, what you have on the back side of that building, that will
Yep.
just be gone.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and new lighting as well. So
Right. I appreciated that your lights were night sky compliant, dark sky compliant. So yeah,
absolutely,
thank you.
absolutely. Sure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any public comment about this issue? Okay, I'm gonna open and close public comment as I've gotten the shake of the head from our audience member. So commission discussion, do we have any concerns? Arnie, can you give us any guidance about what we need to be? I know that you provided us with the list, I think. Yes.
Correct. On pages 6 and 7, those are the standards again for architecture, site planning and lighting.
I mean, it looks quite nice to me.
We
And-
didn't talk
and-
about landscaping. I know it was in here somewhere, but I know that was part of it, correct?
Is landscaping something that we would consider at this point, or is landscaping just something that goes through you now?
Will it be through site plan, but we also don't have a landscape buffer requirement except for when you have residential beside commercial. If it's multifamily or single family beside commercial, then there has to be a landscape buffer of X width with so many plants in it. So that's not a requirement for them to do anything above and beyond what's already there. Without putting words into the GC's mouth, I believe he has made me aware that they will do a nicer landscape package than what our minimum requirements would have been anyway.
Right. It certainly behooves the business to do so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the traffic pattern, is that the current traffic pattern? Where it goes, there are two ways to get in, but only one way to get out, which is right next to the light. That,
The entrance and exit next to the light is exactly how it is today. And I don't recall if the one that's further away from Nelson actually is only one way currently. That I don't remember.
I think it is.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Any comments, questions, concerns?
Like a thoughtful reuse of this building to me.
Yes.
I like the color scheme. I like how muted it's going to appear.
Yeah.
Happy with it.
Yep.
Like
And-
the
and
retained
yet-
brick,
Sorry. Yes.
color of the brick.
And yet it's also going to be identifiable and people have heard of Chipotle, so I don't imagine it's
Some
gonna.
people are really excited.
People that go to Stanton just to get Chipotle. So they're excited not to try it.
You don't know anybody, right, Chris?
It's not me.
All right, well, it looks like we might need a motion and a second.
I do have one small question on that, traffic there. You know, the going in and exiting from the parking lot area. Has that, been given any consideration as far as seems close to the, traffic light at the corner of Walker and Nelson? If somebody was trying to go in that way, it wouldn't interfere with backing up the traffic onto Nelson? I don't know. It's just potentially.
I gotta respond by saying, I'm not sure that we have a mechanism. This is the aesthetics of the building. And if they had to go through site plan, I'm not sure we could force them necessarily to change that. So I think in this particular case, if the applicant or the owner finds that there is an issue, let's say this place is just fantastically popular and then they may have to rethink the ability to come in at that entrance point that's closer to Nelson and maybe they narrow it up. But I don't think we have a mechanism currently, not at this stage, certainly, to sort of suggest that or require that.
Observation.
And is that something that you have had experience with, having an inlet, so to speak, that is so close to a stoplight, an entrance onto the street?
Right. I can't say that we've currently dealt with that. What we typically have are, it's key that we have a traffic control device near the location. That's really one of the caveats of where they will build at. But I couldn't pinpoint a reference of it becoming a problem. So,
Yeah, because the reason, so they're 2 lanes. They're 3 lanes, sorry. There's one where the traffic comes in
for the record.
from a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn, and then there are 2 lanes, one that's for a right-hand turn and one that's for left. And maybe, sorry, one, anyway, so they're 3 altogether
On
So,
Walker.
on Walker,
Right.
on Walker Street. So right there where, sorry, where you've got your in and out. This section right here.
Mhm.
The light, you've got 3 lanes of traffic right here. And so people coming in would have to cross 2 lanes of traffic, one of which is turning left. So that's just something that the owners might want to
Gotcha.
think about before they decide on this for sure.
Sure. Food for thought. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. You're
Threw it
All
out
right,
there.
so
Yeah.
motions.
Yes.
I'm entertaining motions.
I move to approve the entrance corridor certificate of appropriateness application ECCOA 2026-02 for site and exterior improvements at 100 Walker Street as proposed by the applicant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and opposed, and motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on to comprehensive plan review, CPA 2025-01, the housing chapter. I don't see Jeremy is not here.
And is going to provide that.
Stephen, fantastic. That's great.
Sorry, that was just fun. We do not have Jeremy available this evening. I spoke to him just a little while ago before this meeting. What he did commit to is at the next meeting, which is off cycle for him, but he's available. He will get us the housing chapter and the transportation chapter for your review at the next meeting. And then the meeting following that will be land use. So the next 2 meetings, you have 3 chapters, and then we'll be done with all the chapters, and then we'll have to make the changes to all those, bring those back. I presume for one more overview from you before we do the advertisement for the public hearing.
Okay. And we'll get a chance to look at those before the meeting. Great. Okay. Terrific. Okay. So, then we will, do I open that? Do I not open? Do I need to close that officially? I'm going to close that officially,
Sounds good.
unless there's public comment. No. Yes. It's an opportunity. All right, other business. Do we have a zoning and planning report?
Just 2 quick items. Just an observation from the last city council meeting. I do not want to trample on any of your First Amendment rights to go to council and speak your piece about a particular issue. But my preference would be, if you do that, if you could please not mention that you're on the planning commission, not mention the vote, not mention the discussion even. All of that's already captured in the minutes that we provide to council. And I just would prefer that sort of the vote gets carried forward as it is, and there's not really second guessing necessarily as you stand in front of council. So if you're going to go to council, if you could just say you're a resident and make your points, that's perfectly fine. But it would just be a preference of mine if you do not say that you're on the planning commission or start speaking about the vote that was held or the discussions. I think that would just keep it cleaner.
Thank you. That was aimed at me.
Well, it happened once.
It happened
as well.
because of me.
But just if we could just hold it at and sort of own the vote as it happens here and just carry that forward. that'd be
Right.
great.
And I did recognize that I should have said that I was that I was speaking as a resident as opposed to a planning commission member. And but did not actually end up saying that. Sorry.
No worries. And the only other thing is just to remind you all to turn in your documents to Kate if you have not done so already. we're getting at, I think the deadline was the 26th, if I remember correctly. So whoever hasn't, please do. And that's all I have for planning. So.
Okay. City council report?
Yeah, just two items I'll note. We met last Thursday and we had the public hearing on the master plan amendment and at WNL. And that was approved 3-0 and 3 of us recused ourselves. So that's why it was 3-0. And we also approved a resolution stating our policy objectives for the development of the VDOT and Spotswood properties and what our main our overarching goal is to increase revenue to the city, increase net revenue. And it's a very good document. If you get a chance, you might read it. It just gives history about why we're so adamant about needing to increase our tax base. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Perhaps we should forward that to planning commission.
Yeah, actually, that's a
That'd be
good
valuable.
idea. It really, it's a great, it has great background information.
Great, thank you. All right, then I think that we have one final vote. Just waiting for a motion and a second.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
And opposed? Adjourned.
You all-
Thanks, everybody.
Second shortest,
Sorry,
second shortest meeting. After the last one. Wow.
The last one, well, it would have been, we would have had more people. I mean, sorry, we would have had longer if we had had the.
It would have been much
Yeah.
longer.
For sure.
I imagine housing might take some time.
Absolutely. They're all important, but that one is definitely.
Yeah, it's gotten so much.